Dear students, welcome to the Principles of Human Resource Management course. In this video, we will talk about Chapter 7, Performance Management and Appraisal. Lesson 1, Performance Appraisal Process. Learning Objectives. By the end of this video, the student is expected to 1. Describe the performance appraisal process. 2. Discuss the pros and cons of at least 8 performance appraisal methods. 3. Give examples of potential appraisal problems and how to deal with them. 4. List steps to take in the appraisal interview. 5. Explain key points in how to use the appraisal interview to boost employee engagement. 6. Explain how you would take a performance management approach. Basic performance appraisal. Performance appraisal means evaluating an employee's current and/or past performance relative to his or her performance standards. You may equate forms with performance appraisal, but appraisal involves more than forms. Many employers still base pay and promotions on employee appraisals. Stripped to its essentials, performance appraisal always involves the 3-step performance appraisal process. 1. Setting work standards. 2. Assessing the employee's actual performance relative to those standards. This usually involves some rating form. 3. Providing feedback to the employee with the aim of helping him or her to eliminate performance deficiencies or to continue perform above par. Effective appraisals actually begin before the actual appraisal, with the manager defining the employee's job and performance criteria. Defining the job means making sure that you and your subordinate agree on his or her duties and job standards and on the appraisal method you will use. Why appraise performance? There are 5 reasons to appraise subordinates' performance. First, most employers base pay, promotion, and retention decisions on the employee's appraisal. Appraisals play a central role in the employer's performance management process. Performance management means continuously ensuring that each employee's performance makes sense in terms of the company's overall goals. The appraisal lets the manager and subordinate develop a plan for correcting any deficiencies and to reinforce the subordinate's strengths. Appraisals provide an opportunity to review the employee's career plans in light of his or her exhibited strengths and weaknesses. We address career planning in Chapter 10. Finally, appraisals enable the supervisor to identify if there is a training need and if the remedial steps required, defining the employee's goals and performance standards. The performance appraisal should compare what should be with what is. 1. Goals. 2. Job dimensions or traits. 3. Behaviors or competencies. Managers use one or more of 3 basis goals, job dimensions or traits, and behaviors or competencies to establish ahead of time what the person's performance standards will be. Improving performance, HR as a profit center. Setting performance goals at Ball Corporation. Let's talk about it. Ball Corporation supplies metal packaging to customers such as food processors and paint manufacturers worldwide. The management team at one Ball plant concluded that it could improve plant performance by instituting an improved process for setting goals and for ensuring that the plant's employees' behaviors were in sync with these goals. The new program began by training plant leaders on how to improve performance and on setting and communicating daily performance goals. In turn, they communicated and tracked daily goal attainment by distributing team scorecards to the plant's work teams. Plant employees received special coaching and training to ensure they had the skills required for achieving the goals. According to management, within 12 months, the plant increased production by 84 million cans, reduced customer complaints by 50%, and obtained a return on investment of more than $3 million. Talk about it. Discussion. Explain what performance management behaviors the BAL program included. Improving performance. HR tools for line managers and small businesses. How to set effective goals. Behavioral science research studies suggest 4 guidelines for setting performance goals. 1. Assign specific goals. Employees who receive specific goals usually perform better than those who do not. 2. Assign measurable goals. Put goals in quantitative terms and include target dates or deadlines. If measurable results will not be available, then satisfactory completion, such as satisfactorily attend workshop, is the next best thing. 3. Assign challenging but doable goals. Goals should be challenging, but not so difficult that they appear unrealistic. 4. Encourage participation. Managers often face the question, should I tell my employees what their goals are, or let them participate with me in setting their goals? The evidence suggests that participative set goals do not consistently result in higher performance than assigned goals, nor do assigned goals consistently result in higher performance than participative ones. It is only when the participative set goals are set higher than the assigned ones that the participative set goals produce higher performance. Because it tends to be easier to set higher standards when your employees participate, participation tends to lead to improved performance. Talk about it. Discussion. Why is it not a good idea to simply tell employees to do their best when assigning a task? Appraisals by immediate supervisor are still the heart of most appraisal processes. Getting a supervisor's appraisal is relatively straightforward and makes sense. The supervisor is usually in the best position to observe and evaluate the subordinate's performance and is responsible for that person's performance. The Human Resources Department serves an advisory role. Generally, they provide the advice on what appraisal tool to use, but leaves final positions on procedures to the operating managers. The human resource team should also train supervisors to improve their appraisal skills, monitor the appraisal system's effectiveness, and ensure that it complies with EEO laws. The following can-do appraisals. 1. Peer appraisals. People often come across differently to their peers than they do to their boss. Peer appraisals, appraisals by one's peers, are therefore increasingly popular. 2. Rating committees. A rating committee usually consists of the employee's immediate supervisor and 3 or 4 other supervisors. Using multiple rates is advantageous. It helps cancel out problems such as bias on the part of individual raters. 3. Self-ratings. Some employers obtain employees' self-ratings, usually in conjunction with the supervisor's ratings. The basic problem, of course, is that employees usually rate themselves higher than do their supervisors or peers. 4. Appraisal by subordinates. Many employers have subordinates rate their managers, usually for developmental rather than for pay purposes. Anonymity affects the feedback. Managers who receive feedback from subordinates who identify themselves view the upward feedback process more positively. However, subordinates who identify themselves tend to give inflated ratings. The evidence suggests that upward feedback improves managers' performance. 5. 360-degree feedback. With 360-degree feedback, the employer collects performance information all around an employee, from his or her supervisors, subordinates, peers, and internal or external customers, generally for developmental rather than pay purposes. The usual process is to have the raters complete online rating appraisal surveys. Computerized systems then compiles this feedback into individualized reports to rates. In this video, we have talked about 1. The performance appraisal process steps. 2. Why